Picture this, April 22, 2008, Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico. Four F-117 Nighthawks soar overhead in a final farewell, their angular black shapes slicing through the desert sky. The sunset stealth ceremony marks the end of the world's first stealth aircraft, a legend that redefined warfare. Or so we thought. According to the document, jaw-dropping footage of these jets tearing through Nevada canyons isn't from 2008, it's recent. The Nighthawk never truly retired. So, why is a 40-year-old jet still flying in 2025? Stick around, because the truth is wilder than you'd expect. Let's dive into the mystery. The document reveals that the 2008 retirement was a spectacle, a carefully staged event to convince the world the F-117 was done. But aviation spotters and photographers kept catching these jets in action flying low over Nevada and California, landing at military bases, even joining exercises in formation. These weren't one-off sightings. The document describes regular, purposeful flights across desolate landscapes, suggesting something big was happening behind the scenes. First, consider the sheer frequency of these sightings. The document notes that for over a decade after 2008, reports grew more frequent and undeniable. Spotters captured F-117s at airfields, not just parked but active, fueled, and flying. This wasn't a ghost story, it was evidence of a sustained operation. Second, the Air Force's silence fueled the intrigue. According to the document, officials initially brushed off these reports as little more than ghost stories. From the Nevada desert, why the secrecy? The official line was that the Raptor, a newer stealth fighter with air-to-air combat capabilities, had replaced a single-mission F-117, yet the sightings persisted, contradicting the narrative. Third, the stakes escalated when public pressure forced the Air Force to admit the truth. The document explains the shift from full retirement to Type 1000 storage, a state where jets could be reactivated. Later, it was clarified as flying hold status, with regular maintenance and flights. By the time the Air Force confirmed that 45 Nighthawks were still operational, with plans to fly until 2034, the question wasn't just why, it was what are they hiding? The real kicker? This wasn't about nostalgia or air shows. The document describes a resource-intensive operation based at the secretive Tonopah Test Range in Nevada. In an era of F-35s and next-gen fighters, why is a Cold War relic still in the game? At first, you might think the answer is simple. The Air Force kept a few F-117s for backup, maybe for low-stakes training or ceremonial flyovers. The document initially supports this, noting the jets were in flyable storage to be ready to be deployed if needed. Sounds reasonable, right? The F-22's arrival made the F-117's ground attack role obsolete, so maybe they're just mothballed relics, occasionally flown to keep them functional. But there's more to this story. The document pulls back the curtain on a deeper reality. These aren't museum pieces dusted off for parades. The Air Force is running a funded, long-term strategy to keep 45 jets fully operational, complete with engine runs, maintenance, and regular missions. This isn't about sentimentality, it's a deliberate, costly choice. The document emphasizes that the 2008 ceremony was a public affairs event to shift the F-117 back into the semi-secret black world of classified programs. That's right, the retirement was a smokescreen. The complexity deepens when you consider where these jets operate. Tonopah, the F-117's original clandestine home. The document highlights its remote location, perfect for covert work. So, what's the Air Force hiding? Why invest in a 40-year-old jet when fifth-generation fighters dominate? The data tells a different story, and it's not what you'd expect. Here's where the evidence points to something extraordinary. According to the document, the F-117's continued flights serve three critical roles that make it irreplaceable, even in 2025. First, it's a red air aggressor in training exercises, mimicking enemy stealth aircraft like China's J-20 or Russia's Su-57. It's unique first-generation stealth, signature different from the F-2 or F-35, gives U.S. pilots a realistic foe to train against, sharpening their skills to counter low observable threats. The document calls this a masterclass in countering a stealth threat, taught by the original master. Second, in exercises like Northern Edge in Alaska, the F-117 acts as a stand-in for advanced stealth cruise missiles and drones. Its tiny radar cross-section mimics these threats with unmatched realism, training air defense crews on ships and bases. The document notes this provides invaluable live training that simulations can't replicate. Third, And most secretive, the F-117 is a test bed for cutting-edge technology. The document reveals its use to trial next-generation radar-absorbent coatings, advanced infrared sensors, new electronic warfare systems, and potentially autonomous flight control software. Why use a retired jet? It's cost-effective, far cheaper than risking an F-35, which costs over $100,000 per flight hour. These tests directly shape programs like the next-generation air dominance fighter. The timing of this is significant because it ties back to a pivotal moment: the 1999 shoot-down over Yugoslavia. The document details how an F-117, callsign Vega 31, was downed by a Serbian SA-3 missile due to clever tactics and a momentary radar spike. When its bomb bay opened, this wasn't just a loss, it was a wake-up call. The document explains how it provided a real-world case study on how adversaries could counter stealth, making the F-117 the perfect tool to simulate those threats today. What does this mean for the future? The document suggests the F-117's role is shaping how the U.S. prepares for modern warfare, with adversaries like China and Russia fielding stealth fighters and missiles. The Nighthawk's ability to mimic these threats is critical. Training against it ensures U.S. forces stay ahead in detecting and neutralizing low observable targets. The document's mention of exercises like Northern Edge points to upcoming tests in 2026 and beyond, where the F-117 will likely play a starring role. The stakes are high. If U.S. pilots and crews don't master counter-stealth tactics, they risk being outmatched. The document's reference to the 1999 shoot-down shows how a determined foe can exploit weaknesses. By keeping the F-117 active, the Air Force is ensuring it's not caught off guard again. Plus, the tech tested on these jets could define sixth-generation fighters, with the document noting direct contributions to the secretive NGAD program. But this isn't infinite. The document warns that the F-117's days are numbered, with operations planned until 2034. Spare parts are scarce, production stopped in 1990, and maintenance is a nightmare. The Air Force is already seeking contractors for final support, signaling a slow wind down. As jets are retired, some, like unexpected guests at the Reagan Library, become museum pieces, transitioning from secret weapons to public relics. The document leaves us with tantalizing mysteries. What exactly are these classified technologies being tested? The document hints at autonomous flight control software and next-generation coatings, but details are scarce. Are we seeing the seeds of fully autonomous stealth drones? And why 2034? Is that when a new platform will take over, or is something else in play? Another question looms: how are adversaries responding? The document notes that Russia and China studied the 1999 wreckage, shaping their own stealth programs. Are F-117s being used to simulate those specific threats? And what about the human story? The document's account of pilot Dale Zelko and Serbian commander Zoltan Dani's friendship after the shoot-down is profound. Could similar stories emerge as more secrets surface? Keep an eye on Tonopah and exercises like Northern Edge. The document suggests these will be key to spotting the F-117's next moves. What do you think the Air Force is hiding? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this blew your mind, and subscribe for more deep dives into military secrets. Let's keep digging. What's the Nighthawk's next chapter?